It is the Matt Mosley Show, and here we go. Here we go on Wednesday, and man, great to be with you. All kinds of breaking news across the NFL. We'll share with you. I've got a little bit of Cowboys news for you as Christian Parker, a new name, comes in. Cowboys have requested to talk to Christian Parker, the defensive passing game coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles. And you go, well, why would the Eagles ever let a guy get away to go to the Cowboys, a division rival? Well, it's kind of the way the NFL rules work, is if you get that opportunity to get a better job and better yourself and go up from a position coach to a defensive coordinator, there are some rules in place to make that happen. And so Christian Parker is at least going to be in the mix. Cowboys have already talked to several. We've brought you those, including Jim Leonard, the former defensive coordinator and the interim head coach at Wisconsin, who's been with Denver. Vance Joseph is the defense coordinator at Denver, and he is the play caller there. And then Kev is with me, as always, Hoosier Hall, as he gets ready for Indiana and Miami on Monday. Again, the college football playoff, it'll be exciting, but it's odd to have a game, then have a playoff weekend, and then we had two games, and then we have a whole nother divisional playoff game weekend excitement, and then the Monday national. I don't know if there's a better way to do it, but it's a little weird, it's a little awkward. But for Indiana fans who took over, everywhere they've been, Peach Bowl, Rose Bowl, incredible. Fandom will show up in Miami. And for anybody worried about, oh my gosh, a home game for Miami, you're not paying attention if you think that's going to be the case. Miami will show up and it'll be great. But that's the only reason it will be close to half and half. And I still think Indiana will have more fans there. Indiana alums, much like Kevin, must do pretty well because they just fly around the country. They got disposable income. There you go. There you go. I think part of it is Indiana people love getting out of that part of the country. I've seen it with Michigan State people. It's like, oh, you got a chance to go to the Cotton Bowl? You got a chance to get out of this cold weather? You get us out of this part of the country for a little while? Let's go to Miami. Let's get out there. And so they save up. Now, Indiana people in the past did not know to save up for all these games in football, but now they know. Now they know because they have the great Signetti running things. And I also will get hot and heavy into the Baylor, what just happened. And when we got Campus Confidential, I do want to, Kevin, while I'm thinking about it, we got a new team member, and he's a part of the onboarding process. And today he's lurking on the Mosley Show. He's one of our audience. Brandon, get over there and make sure you subscribe. I mean, it's great to have you in our private chat, but we need you to be counting among our multitudes I've noticed even lately, we're ticking up. And of course, that's without me even, hitting the boost and paying for these people. We're just doing it the old fashioned way. And just hoping that people come over and subscribe to us. And they are. And we're tracking toward, we've got, over 5,000 YouTube subscribers. We'll try to get that number with Brandon's help. That number is going to be up around 20K by the time, or 25K by the time college football starts next year. That's my promise to you. Even if I have to pay out of pocket, would I pay for friends? Well, I was in a fraternity. I mean, you know what they say? Oh, you had to pay for friends. But yes, I'm not above that. I'll just get out the pocketbook and we'll pay. But right now we're just kind of one by one. We're doing it the old fashioned, kind of a grassroots effort. And then in November, our numbers were like crazy. I think it had something to do with the Baylor. We were the first place. A lot of people were looking for some information on the whole Baylor AD thing. And we had a lot of information on that front. And then Baylor went and hired Doug McNamee. Friday morning, we're going to be the first. Now, Doug talked to the in-house Baylor thing, that behind the paywall thing, but we will be the first to sit down with Baylor Plus, and they do a nice job. I don't know, that sounded kind of rude the way I phrased that. They do a very nice job. I'm just saying we're the first sort of true media group to visit with Doug McNamee. That will happen, taping that Friday morning in a couple of days here, and then we'll share that with you Friday afternoon. And I just got to decide. Kevin and I'll put our heads together. We may put that out there at 2:00, but we're going to have a long sit down with Baylor's new AD, and he happens to be a longtime friend of mine. And yes, I understand our local fixer-upper folks have given a bunch of money, and so that's nice. The Baylor baseball has a new naming rights deal, and that's great. That's great. I'm sure that'll come up, and we will visit about all of those things and the portal, the state of men's college basketball. Lots to talk about on that front when the new AD. Now, tomorrow I've put in a request to have, because they play tonight, they're going to then go to play BYU. I don't know what their schedule looks like tomorrow, but I was going to try to have the Baylor women's coach on, Nikki Collin. And so we'll try to get that hammered out. That's still kind of up in the air, but man, just lots to discuss as all this stuff keeps happening. And then later in the program today, we'll do Campus Confidential at 1:30. Later in the program, I want to look at the openings out there in the NFL, and I want to kind of give my rankings to what I think are the best job openings. We'll talk about the best fits. Who are the best candidates for these jobs, but I kind of like to look at a lot of these jobs, and I like to rank them in my mind for the most desirable jobs. And I think we used to be, I think Kevin yesterday was trying to play up the young Steelers quarterback, Will Howard. That does not do much for me, by the way. We used to look at these teams and go, oh my gosh, it's the Steelers. Oh my goodness, it's the Ravens. These, the stories, especially with the Steelers, storied organization. That's the best job. That's the best job. It's not all about that anymore. It's like, okay, who best young quarterbacks, best roster, best, what's the free agency look like? How much money do you have? What's ownership look like? What's the alignment like? There's a lot more to look at it other than it's the Steelers. Is that still a great job? Yeah, I think so. I think you do have to look at, okay, what's the fan base like and what's all that. I do think quickly, Mike McCarthy, who at one point was one of the favorites to be the New York Giants coach. Now John Harbaugh's moved to the top of the Giants, and McCarthy, who is a Pittsburgh guy and he's from Pittsburgh. I think he would crawl to Pittsburgh to have that job. So I think he's a good fit for Iron City beer. I think that's a big thing there. I don't know, not much of I don't really partake. So I can't really speak to Iron City, but who knows? Maybe our new man, Brandon McGinnis, with a name like McGinnis, man, seems like he would have had a pint or two in his life. Now, Brandon, I don't know, he may be pretty youthful. Brandon and I have been texting a lot with each other, but I don't know the age. So if he's a youngster, then he may have held off on that. Although some people get started fairly early. We'll see. Kevin will tell you, Brandon, I'll get into your personal life. I won't with you though. I'm going to ease you into this. All right. And good to have Brandon. Brandon's probably scared to death right now that I'm going to bring him right on and put him on the hot seat. No, Brandon, you just enjoy yourself. In my early days of radio, I had grown up and I had worshiped this famous radio guy out of Dallas by the name of Norm Hitzges. and I got to go in to studio and watch Norm, and it was like kind of off-putting almost it was awesome to get to see him in action, but then he would be staring at me, and I thought he was going to like call on me, and I might have to actually say something. And it was really, he just liked, if you were in the studio, he liked to play off people. He would never ask them anything. Kevin's going to find that out. Mosley I can just talk and talk and talk, but I actually like to bring Kevin in, not just to show off the long locks, but Kevin has some great takes, especially on college football, and he has thoughts on college basketball and the NFL as well. Kev, real quick, I did hear there's interest that teams are having in somebody that coaches defense for the Colts, and I thought of you when I saw that. Who would that be? Is that an interest?
Yeah. You got Lou Anarumo is the defensive coordinator just this past year, replacing Gus Bradley the previous 3 years, and the former Cincinnati guy trained up Trey Hendrickson, found a way to stop Patrick Mahomes in a couple seasons there with Burrowhead and all of that stuff. So he potentially, seeing the turmoil that is the Colts locker room and management, he may be convinced to go elsewhere. We'll see.
Sweet Lou. And the context it came up in, Kev, was actually he was on a list of potential, they were ranking like the top 20 to 25 head coaching candidates. Now, he was way on down the list, but he did make the list. So when I saw that earlier today, and it's kind of my process, by the way. I don't know if anybody's interested in this, but I'll share it with you anyway. So I wake up, not terribly early, because I stay up till crazy hours, and I just read like thousands and thousands of words, and I just read story after story, and I try to get my hands on. And some days, nothing really grabs me. And I'll be like, well, I got to really dig deep today. I got to, what do I want to do? But then whatever happens is when we start going, we start getting the show going, those things that grab me the most of all the things I read this morning, those usually bubble up into the show. And that's kind of how things get going. That's how things are prepared. Let me tell you, we're 13:06 into the show. I love doing a good timestamp. One of the things I'm not good at is multitasking, but I'm gonna start timestamping some things. I saw something today NFL wise, and I think our NFL audience will find this interesting as well. And this is the stuff that makes Jerry's skin crawl. Jerry Jones, this just kills him. Things like this. Word getting out that with the Ravens, John Harbaugh was making somewhere in the neighborhood of $17 to $18 million a year. Huh? Really? Okay. I mean, at least 17 million. Oh, whoa. All right. And so as the Giants start to have conversations with him, start to have deep and long conversations with one John Harbaugh, they have put it out there, this is according to Ian O'Connor from The Athletic, that they would be fine spending as much as $20 million a year to have John Harbaugh as their head coach. Isn't this amazing, guys? Think of all that we're seeing right now. Guys get fired, like McDaniel with the Dolphins, immediately interviewed. Immediately, everybody's like, okay, cool, let's talk to him. Kevin Stefanski out with Cleveland. Cleveland can't win. They have a great sack artist, but they can't win. Put him on the list. We want to talk to him. I mean, it's one of the greatest gigs in America, a fired head coach, because you either have the ability to, if you have a couple of years left on your contract, like Tomlin does, Just go make that money. Just go eat that. Just go, whatever he's making. Let's say he's making about $15 million. Yeah, we'll go get a great broadcasting job. And for a year, just do some broadcasting and make about $15 million from the Steelers. Now, from an ego standpoint and just a paranoia standpoint, some of these guys can't, like the Harbaugh brothers aren't wired to sit out. Like, it's just, it doesn't really compute. Like, hey, I think I'll go do some TV. Like, they would freak out. They'd be like, wait, what if I never coach again? What if I never get an opportunity? Well, guys, what about making $10 million a year in the media? They don't care about that because, like, their whole lives are defined by their coaching career. It's not whether they make a good point or not on TV. Sean Payton was out for about a year, 2, maybe 1 year in the media. He did fine. But, he's defined in his ego, and he's got a massive one. And I've got Payton stories for you, personal stories to back that one up. All right. So now a reminder, and Brandon, you hear this too. Like if you're ever looking for, like, what I want to do today? What shorts do I want to make? What do I want to put out there on YouTube? Campus Confidential is a great place for it. That's where my man Kevin looks, and he looks at what I want him to do and what he's been doing. I kind of like. He kind of comes up with his thoughts and whatever the biggest trends are in college athletics, and he's like, hey, Mosley, what do you think? Like yesterday, he randomly asked me, do you like women's basketball? I mean, I didn't really see that coming, but yes, and the answer is yes. But what I really like in Campus Confidential is to get very topical. For instance, Kevin, if you're looking for another topic today, they've gone from, you can still redshirt if you play in 4 games. They're trying to get it passed now to where you can play in 9 games and still redshirt. Still have a redshirt season. Okay? That's a topic I would like for Campus Confidential. Does that shock you? Kevin, what are you doing at your place? Like when I hear what's happening at Kevin's, it almost sounds like he's either in an airport or they're like he's running a bunch of computers. Like he's got a bunch of routers in there, and there's like 200 routers. It's an interesting process there over at Kevin's studio. Kevin's home studio is an interesting place. Okay, I may start doing some live shows from there, but I do like being in the home studio of Mosley. Next week, I'm looking to do one show from the old Alico building studios. I'm going to be in town for a board meeting of Baylor's S3, that great sports marketing program over at Baylor University. And I'll be in town doing some stuff with that group. And that'll be exciting. But we're going to do some studio shows. And then on 22nd, Kev, they want some of us to drop by to get our glossy shots. What are those things called? They've got like a major professional photographer coming in.
Are we doing a glamour shot thing? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah.
Remember that place in the mall you could do that?
Yeah. Do you think I should just do my normal look with sunglasses and cap, or let the hair kind of get cleaned up? Yeah, how does that go?
They said collared shirt, and I'm like, okay, so you don't want me to be me. Okay, got it. So no hat, collared shirt, gotcha. It'd be like I'm back in church ministry.
That's why, I told my buddy one time I had a date, and he was getting ready for a date, and he seemed a little nervous about it. And I told him, I said, whatever you do, don't be yourself. Just don't. Just try not to be yourself. Okay. And I thought that was good. He ended up marrying her, by the way. So I think I gave him good advice, just because he was just he's not engaging. He's a good friend and I like him, and he's a highly successful guy in sports media. He's a columnist, and But if he was himself, which is aloof and quiet and brooding, then he had no shot. He had no shot. So he needed to at least get it out there a little bit and not be himself, was my advice for him. Brandon, I'm here for dating advice. Brandon McGinnis. I wonder if he's married. Can we chat on this thing, Kevin? This studio chat? Could I send you a private message on there somehow? Is there there's a version, there's something up there where I could get comments. Anyway, we're on this live StreamYard platform, I guess is what we're doing. So we're talking
if you go comments, it comments to the public in the YouTube comments. You don't want to do that.
Well, I like that. I want to talk to the public.
There is a note thing that we can use on there, but
all right, I'm not. Yeah, I'll skip that. All right, we will have Campus Confidential coming up at 1:30, 2 o'clock. NFL coaches. I need to talk some Baylor basketball real quick, and I may need more time in the 2 o'clock because something happened last night. After our deep dive yesterday, a lot of people watched that. Kendall Kaut was on with us. He's authored a Baylor book on Baylor basketball. We gave several ideas. Baylor was in a bad place. Baylor comes out last night in Stillwater, and I should have told you, Kevin. I'd like to see I'd like highlights right here. All right, like from if we can grab that from what was that? Good. Oh, Kevin still photos. I love it when he does this. Kevin does not need. He's not a man who really needs highlights. Is that Obi Ogbum? Baylor comes out in the first half last night and shoots 73%. They were unbelievable from three. I think they were 9 for 14 in the first half. I love those uniforms, by the way. Like the gold, I don't know why it kind of reminded me of some old Baylor uniforms, maybe even back before Scott Drew. There's something about though, and they're not the highlight or weird ones that they used to wear, like in the NCAA tournament and other times. The fluorescent deal. I thought these uniforms looked awesome. I thought it almost felt like a throwback. Now leave it right there for a second, Kev. That's Tunde Yesufu. Brandon, learn it, love it. That's the great Tunde. One of the leading scorers in California high school history. Man who came over originally as a young lad from West Africa. Came over, played ball. Is just a tremendous, tremendous young guy. And honestly, in the first 3 games of conference, just couldn't find it. Didn't really look comfortable. Wasn't playing great defense. Last night, he found it early. He found it in the second half. I thought last night was about a release for this team that spent the last 5 to 10 minutes of that game trying to dunk on the entire arena. They had 2 guys, including one was, I think Tunde tried one time and Isaac Williams tried one time just to dunk on the whole team. It was unbelievable what they did to Oklahoma State, who had been good this season. Oklahoma State was flirting a week ago or so with being in the top 25. Baylor goes into a hostile environment. They had a really good crowd there at Oklahoma State. They were so excited to beat Baylor. And Tunde especially, he went for 23 in this game, but he played under control. He was great in transition. He was tremendous at finishing his shot. He looked smooth on his 3. Played better defense. Man, they did it all. They did it all in this game. They were better at defensive rebounding, still not a strength. It won't be all season, but you can be better at it. You can try to block out. They did a better job there. And quite honestly, we made too much of a deal of James Najee. James can help you here or there. Last night, he gave you 6 minutes and he had like 3 fouls. Fine. Caden Powell played his rear off, blocked out, rebounded the ball, did fine. I was happy with the performance. Obi Ogbum, who has not really lived up to what they needed, not a true point guard, had 15 points in that game. He doesn't turn the ball over, played tough defense. Great. He didn't have to try to create shots. He moved around, got open, and he did exactly what he needed to be. He needs to be a catch-and-shoot three guy. Brandon, this is where you grab something from today, sir, if you had what you needed. I thought Carr played beautifully. I mean, it was and here is the creme de la creme, if that's a phrase. Here's the biggest story from that game, and everybody played well. Dan Skilling's supposed to be one of their best players, did not suit out. He was hurt for this game. He'll be day to day, game to game kind of thing. He did not suit out. They played beautifully. Obi hung in there and played all 40 minutes. That's tough, man. That is tough to get out there and play hard-nosed basketball for all 40 minutes. Way to go, Obi. All right, all the hate and all the vitriol and any kind of blowback you've gotten this season, way to go. So Baylor improves to 1-3, and now they play Kansas Friday night. But here's the big point on Baylor basketball. Mikey Ratai himself showed up last night. He's not played well. He doesn't shoot the ball particularly well from three. He was struggling. There was not much he was doing to help you, other than trying to defend the best he could. In this game, whether it was responding to a run from Oklahoma State when they got it down to 12, and one time they got it to 10, and Yesufu got a big steal and a dunk. That was an awesome moment in this game, but it was Mikey Ratai. Go back to that, Kev. Do you have a Mikey Ratai photo? Let's bring him back up. There he is. Just everything he did. He hit shots in the lane. He hit the offensive boards. He played tough. When they made a run, he gave a little move from the corner and went to the rack and got a dunk and a three-point play. That's it, man. That's it. That's who they wanted. That kid Falah for Oklahoma State, the big man for them, good player. Good player. 18 points against the Bears. Got hurt, was out of the game for a little while, but that's not why they got beat. Baylor just completely dominated and killed them. But that guy came from Oregon State, same place Ratai did. I don't know if the sight of him inspired Michael. I think Michael plays tough. I do not think Michael it's not an effort issue with Michael. It's just been a fit issue, getting him going, getting him, and whatever they did last night, getting him shots in the lane, letting him attack the rim a little bit. Man, he played beautifully. 19 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists in that game. That's it, Mikey Ratai. That's what Baylor was hoping to get. Now, we think Baylor spent somewhere in the neighborhood of like $700,000 to $1 million on Mikey Ratai. And last night, he played like the man who is earning that. And unfortunately, that's how we talk about college players now. Did they miss on this guy? Is he earning his money? Is he doing this? Is he doing that? Maybe it's unfair, but it is the way of the world now. It is just the way things go in college athletics. Mikey Ratai was great. I mean, Isaac Williams in the first half ran the team, made block shots, great defense. He was incredible. Now, that's the closest thing they have to like a real solid point guard. He hit threes. He blocked shots. He was good on a point. Now, that's Obi. Do we have an Isaac Williams shot? A shot of Isaac? Anyway, he was brilliant in that game. He may be He may be number 3. I don't know if we have a shot at him, but Isaac was just incredible in that game. I mean, again, his shot making, his distributing. It's funny with people go, well, wait, why are they beating us on the offensive boards? Hey, when you make 73% of your shots, there are not as many offensive rebounds, Sherlock. All right. So that's the reason Oklahoma State was beating Baylor in offensive rebounds in the first half. Baylor actually couldn't get offensive rebounds because they made so many shots. For 3 games, they were almost out of like 300 and however many teams there are, 360 teams or so, 365 teams. I think they were 364th in defensive rebounding in those 3 conference games coming into that game. They were horrible on offense. They were horrible at shooting. And yet last night, it was the most beautiful game you could have witnessed. The old Bears showed up, and it was a remarkable night. So there you go. Some Baylor basketball talk. May have a little bit more of that to go. Again, I'm going to rank all these NFL openings, and we're going to do that. In fact, Kev, if you have something you can put up that has all the openings on it, like a list of them, you and I can kind of look at that and work that out together. We'll do that in the 2 o'clock hour. I do have a list for you, Kev, if you need me to send that to you. But anyway, I just think of things on the fly sometimes. So, and Kevin's unbelievable on the fly, I have found out in our short time together. Let's do some Campus Confidential. Let's do it next.
If you want the best for your body, you want Ascension Providence, the largest sports and orthopedics group in Central Texas. Using innovative and cutting-edge technology, we're able to understand your body better than ever, delivering treatment with precision. And with our fellowship-trained and board-certified doctors, you'll receive excellent care. Work with a team dedicated to your health, wellness, and safety.
So you can perform
at your best.
Ascension Providence, caring for Texas families for over 120 years.
It's time to start something new at Allen Samuels. Drive in with huge savings on all of our Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram vehicles. From the trail-conquering Jeep Grand Cherokee, towing in style with a Ram Heavy Duty, or cruising the city in a sporty and luxurious Ram 1500, we've got the perfect ride for you. Stop by Allen Samuels in Waco, where we make car buying easy.
Come by. Let's be friends.
It's the Restore Clarity Focus Patch, my little secret weapon for staying sharp, focused, and on task. Each box comes with simple instructions inside, so you always know exactly how to apply it. Each patch lasts for 3 days. I love that I can wear it all day.
But
Boy, it looked effortless.
Man, watch this.
Layups, floaters, threes. He was like an unsolvable equation.
I was born like this.
His resilience, his strength, his belief, adversity never stood a chance.
Know your power.
It's Mosley. I'm doing the lean there, Kev. Kind of doing a little lean. Kind of like when I'm driving down old Washington Street, cruising in my hometown of Kaufman, Texas. Shout out if you're out there. Shout out to my Kaufman people. Anybody from Kaufman County, check in with me on YouTube. Use the comment section. Kevin puts us on. I guess I'm still paying for that, by the way. That was kind of a jolt, Kevin. One day I signed up for Twitter Premium and it said, for whatever it was, like something a month, right? And it was one of those deals where then it hits you for a lot more than it said. It's okay though, because we reach a larger audience. They're out there and they are into it. And I know some of my Cowboys audience, when I get real Baylor centric, I know you're like, oh, Mosley, but that's okay. That's okay. You know, I'm a Baylor guy. I've never tried to hide that. And I'll always come back and I'll give you your Cowboys talk. And in fact, there's stuff brewing today. I mean, they got a new an Eagles defensive coach. They've reached out to for permission to set up an interview. Christian Parker from the Eagles, and excited to see. Oh, there we go. There we go. That's Christian Parker. He is the passing game coordinator on the defensive side of the ball for the Eagles. Now, reminder, Eagles defensive coordinator is Vic Fangio. In addition to them winning the Super Bowl last year, Fangio, yes, he's the one that was laughing at the Cowboys a few years ago when Denver came in and wiped them out. All right, he was at Denver, and now he's with the Eagles. And this guy is a Fangio guy through and through. And he's developed a really nice reputation. And Quinyon Mitchell, the cornerback for the Eagles, just got named All-Pro. And then if you look at their defense, they do some nice things on defense. And what is the Eagles' overriding philosophy when it comes to drafting? It's like, well, when in doubt, take a Georgia player. Now, that may change. Maybe people moving forward will be like, when in doubt, take an Indiana player, take a Texas Tech player. But, boy, they and you know, Stephen Jones told you the other day for the Cowboys, you know, they understand now that all of the talent in college football, because of the portal, is being forced up into those Power 4 schools. So in a sense, it's probably made scouting easier because you used to have to really look under every rock. And I think that was kind of the fun of it. Oh, let's go look at these James Madison kids. Oh, what does Akron have? And not that that still won't happen, but if you got a tremendous player at that level, then likely they've ended up at one of those big-time schools. Now, again, a reminder, Baylor athletic director, their new athletic director, Doug McNamee, will be joining us for Friday's show. And that'll be great. I heard he was with John Morris, our good friend John Morris, recently. And that'll be, you know, I'm kind of wanting to look at that one, although I think you have to be on you have to subscribe to Baylor Plus, which is fine. I mean, it's I've seen some of their offerings, very, very nice product. But the Mosley Show on YouTube, free. You just subscribe. All right. We're supported by our unbelievable partners like, there it is down here, Central National Bank. Love having C&B and love Brian Fonville, the Nesbitt family, the whole group. And it's tremendous to have them. And that's why we wanted to highlight them. Now, also, Schmaltz's Sandwich Shop. Thank you. Thank you, Britt Tully. Appreciate you. Nelson Rue's been incredible. We'll do our
incidentally, you bring up Schmaltz's. Today is National Hot Pastrami Day. I think Schmaltz's would be a great destination for that, don't you?
Goodness, I love pastrami so much. In fact,
always on rye.
I do, marble rye or rye. I like it on rye, and I'll do it on anything. I'll do it on like an interesting, there's a place that's closing in Dallas that's my favorite pastrami sandwich, and that's New York Sub. And I don't know why it's closing. I mean, it's right by SMU. I thought everybody loved it. Their pastrami, brisket pastrami, is unbelievable. But when I'm in Central Texas, I go to Schmaltz's, and I love it. I get the Schmaltz, and appreciate Nelson Rue. And I mean, his family, the Rue family, it's a great family. And then Britt Tully bought that from him, and he's just done a tremendous job. So shout out to Schmaltz's, and we'll do our trivia tomorrow. And yes, in honor of Hot Pastrami Day, I'll go have one today. And I got to figure out how to get one from. They do have pastrami. Let me think about that. Do they? Yeah, they have a pastrami sandwich at Schmaltz's. I had to think about what I usually have the Schmaltz, which is like salami and ham and turkey and just lunch meat. That's kind of a catch-all for things. We just say lunch meat. I love a good lunch meat sandwich. But it's just tremendous. In the bread, and then when they do that jalapeno cheese bread, that's unbelievable. That's unbelievable. When I get mine toasted, I get my sandwich kind of like I call it twice baked. I say, hey, do it twice baked, please. And what they'll do is just leave it in. They don't just toast it. They'll leave it in for a while, and they'll char the bread just a little bit to get it really nice and toasty. It's a very important thing for the cheeseburger. Like the best cheeseburgers, you butter the bun like crazy, and then you get the crunch. You toast it to the point where you get a little bit of a crunch. You don't want it to be just like where the bread crumbs are flying into your face. You don't want that crunchy, but you want a bit of a crunch, and the butter helps tremendously when you're getting one of those buns ready. But that's a big part of it. Getting those right. And then I don't know, Kev, you might know this. I don't know what the best bagel place in Waco is, but places that are more and more places are doing incredible things with bagels. And you say, Mosley, I've had a bagel. They all taste the same. The New York style, the true bagel. I'm trying to remember that little deli that used to be on the Baylor campus. I used to go by there, and they would have a bagel sandwich. Maybe I'd get a breakfast sandwich from them. And I think it was called New York Deli or something. But again, Schmaltz's. Nelson's like, why are you talking about all these other places? That's a good question, Nelson and Britt. Okay, let's do something, and this may take us into the 2:00 hour. We'll take care of all our sponsors. Don't you worry. And boy, thank you, Cherry Johnson, Siegmund James. Oh, that law firm. There's C&B. Oh, look at you, Kevin. You're just scrolling right through them. Cherry Johnson, Siegmund James. I mean, it's personal injury law, truck accident, on the job, whatever's happened to you, whatever you're facing. It's unreal, the judgments they've won. And I've seen Craig. I mean, I know Craig Cherry, his acumen, because I went to law school with him. And he was even sharp and on top of things in law school. I don't want to shock you. I was not. Although I either made an A or a B in contracts. Like if you ever want me to look at a contract for you or something like that, I think I'm your guy. Civil procedure, some of my crim law and crim pro classes, struggled a little bit, but by the grace of God, somehow Professor Sayre, Professor Featherston, um, Professor Underwood, Bates. I'm like still really good friends with all these guys, even though I was not a great law student. So that tells you in life, don't stay friends with people, even if you decide to go a different direction. I should have taken that advice from myself when it came to like radio stations. Okay, Kev, let's do some Campus Confidential.
All right. You ready?
I am so ready. And I'm glad you're back to your Indiana. Until
make you feel better.
Title game, yeah. You do not need to be changing that up too much. Okay?
Well, there may be another one drop in at some point here. I do have a large collection of hats. So, LSU signed quarterback Houston Longstreet from USC. Is it greedy of Lane Kiffin to pick up 2 quarterbacks in the past 2 days out of the transfer portal?
Okay, say the kid's name again.
Tell
me what year he is.
It's Houston Longstreet from USC. Let me look up his year.
I'll talk while you do that. I don't think this is a bad move because, and this is a boss move, because if you pay him a little money, this is like in the NFL. The teams that'll do a contract for $5 to $10 million with a backup, you may not use them. The money may go to waste. But when you need them, you desperately need them.
He'll be entering his sophomore season. So.
Okay. Now, as I recall, USC has a pretty good starting quarterback. He had a pretty good year. At one point this year, he was in the Heisman race. He fell off a little bit. They lost that game to Oregon.
Longstreet did play in 4 games for USC this past year.
But probably more like mop-up type stuff. Probably, I would not imagine you look at those stats and go, oh, my gosh, Longstreet, great year. But I bet he's got great pedigree. They've done their scout on him. And so what you do is you give – this is LSU, you said?
Yep.
You give the great Levitt his 3.5 or $4 million. And then you give this youngster, you go, hey, you're going to learn at the feet of the great Kiffin and Charlie Weiss Jr. And on top of it, whatever they gave him at USC, he wasn't going to get to play. He's behind this guy, and he wasn't going to get huge money anywhere else because he hadn't really put anything on tape yet other than those 4 games that don't amount to anything. And I bet... Did it say in the story how much they're paying him?
No, didn't get that.
I bet they're paying this kid about $500,000. And that's the going rate, by the way, for like a good, running back, like a great offensive tackle. You'd pay $1 million or 1.2, 1.3, up till about 1.7 to 2. A really good center or guard, the highest paid center or guard is probably making about 1 or 1.2. So pay a backup quarterback like this, give him about $500,000. It's overkill, yes, but I kind of like the move. And it is greedy, but that's okay. It's the portal world. It's not, hey, as I tell people, Kev, it's not, it's not our money. I mean, if you got the money, spend it. And I would say having another talented quarterback in the room, there are worse things than that. In fact, if I'm at Baylor, I think Nate Bennett and Ed Griffin and all that, knowing how fluid things are year to year, they should be excited to have DJ Lagway coming in. I mean, learn from him, help him with the offense, do everything you can, and then hope that, you may still get an opportunity this season. If he gets hurt or if he leaves after a year, Like I would if I'm those guys, I don't cut and run. I stay there and I learn right along with DJ Lagway in that quarterback room.
Yeah, like Dante Moore under Dylan Gabriel last year. Speaking of which, Oregon, 2 players decided to declare for the draft today. What are some of the decisions that they have to weigh for these guys to decide whether they're going to stay, whether they're going to the portal, or whether they're going to enter the draft?
Well, I think you have to be, these agents are the college agents, not all of them, but a large group of them are very untrustworthy. So my first advice would be get an NFL agent. Do not, because these college agents are trying to use this to get to the next level. They don't even have to be like certified to do what they do at the college level. To do NFL contracts, you actually have to take, study and take an exam and have some background in that. So I would say, if they've been told that they are almost certainly going to go in the first 2 rounds, maybe even the first 3 rounds, that's fine. I understand it. I understand those guys want to get their clock ticking, because even if you don't get taken to the second or third round, you could get to that second contract quicker. First round, you're going to get more money up front. Second, third round, the benefit is you get to that free agency quicker. So I don't, it's kind of the world of instant gratification. I think it can be a wise move to go ahead and try to go pro. Now, if those guys go pro and then they fall to the 5th or 6th round, or they don't get drafted, then of course it's like, yeah. And then maybe they can do like what Baylor did and try to find a loophole to bring them back if they don't get drafted, right? Or if they do get drafted.
All right, so since they're 2...
Can you believe, by the way, that we everybody pulled their hair out over poor James Najee? I mean, I love the kid, and I hope he stays at Baylor forever, and I hope he just gets better and better. But this kid is like unbelievably raw. Even still, he is not like in all of America. I can't believe Baylor's doing this. I'm going to call Scott right now. I'm Tom Izzo. I'm not going to stand for this. This kid could not stay on the. I mean, like, again, I don't want this to come off like I'm putting him down. I love him, and I want to see him stay and get better at Baylor. I hope he gets his college degree. But everybody went crazy about this kid, and he's scoring 3 points a game and playing, 10 or 11 minutes a game. I mean, everybody calm down a little bit, okay? Scott was trying to bring in some help. This kid will end up helping. Right now, he's not much help. Let's put it that way.
All right. The 2 players, they're both from Oregon. So do you think it says anything about the current culture or locker room at Oregon right now after the Ducks demolishing up against the Hoosiers this past Friday?
No. That they decided to go pro? No, I think it's it's a bottom line business. People are going where the money is. I mean, I'm a little surprised. It's kind of unfair to these Indiana players, to be honest with you. You're telling me about that awesome kid who's like a sophomore with the name I can't say, Ndakwu or something like that.
In Dukwe.
In Dukwe.
Yep.
And I need to learn that. I don't want to be one of these radio people who are like, I can't say that. Like, when there's a great player, I want to be, or not a great player. Like, we need to learn how to say their names. But I just haven't really watched him much to know. if that guy tried to test the waters in the portal, he would end up looking like some huge traitor right now. So the hope is, of course, Indiana just takes care of its own. But it is kind of unfair, isn't it, to all these great Indiana and Miami players that you can't really go in the – now, some of those Miami players have. But, again, it's a credit to Cignetti. To your point about the Oregon culture, no. I don't blame it on the Oregon culture. I just think those kids think they'll get drafted in the first 2 or 3 rounds.
To be fair, it's Kenyon Sadiq and Thieneman, the safety.
Yeah.
So it's not like some. It's guys who you could definitely see going in those first 3 rounds.
Oh, and by the way, speaking of that, you made me think of something. Oregon's getting a guy from Minnesota. I know you follow the Big Ten pretty closely, Kev. You got to take a peek at this guy. Portal guy, Minnesota safety. So they're already replacing their guy. I think his first name is like Koi. It may be like KOI or something. He looks big time to me. But he's coming over from always interested in players that arrive from somewhat non-traditional. I would not say the Golden Gophers are a football power. They've tried to become one with limited success. Isn't that funny, too, that just about 5, 6, however long, many years ago, 6, 7 years ago, that Row the Boat was like the biggest craze, the hottest name. Like, that was a big dang deal that Minnesota hired him. That guy had a huge, great reputation. And now he's fine, but when there's a big college carousel, nobody's talking about Row the Boat.
Yeah.
Nobody in the world's talking about Row the Boat.
Yeah.
They're talking about – that's why somebody the other day said oh, I know who it was. The coach at UCLA, Mick Cronin, the basketball coach, he kept referring to Cignetti as Google Me. And every time he referred to him, he said, "And you know what Google Me's doing over there?" He would. That's the. I think he's probably a pretty good coach. I think in a sport that has a lot of arrogant people and a lot of a-holes. I think our man from UCLA, I think Cronin's way up there. I think Cronin's at the top of the. Hey, who's the coach at Indiana now?
Darren DeVries, Tucker's dad.
Yeah.
They got exposed real bad against Michigan State last night.
Yeah, that's okay. I like DeVries. He'll be okay. I do like. I like that coach at Virginia now. And that I want you to watch, everybody listening to us and you, Kev, go find his comments about the coach who passed away, the coach who had been at Virginia Tech, and he'd also coached at, anyway, there was a real sad loss in college basketball. And
Bill Courtney.
Good job. Yes, Bill Courtney. It wasn't coming to mind. But he seems like an incredible guy who'd been around and had been the head coach at Cornell for about a 6-year span from like 2010 to 2016, but has been with some great coaches on some really good staffs. And Odom had coached with him, and Odom's the new coach at Virginia, and Virginia's doing well. Virginia's playing really well. You remember where Odom came from, Kev? Anyway, Odom came from, I think, a group of 5 school, but he's a good coach. And they might have crossed paths at Virginia Tech or somewhere, but I mean, him talking about Courtney last night almost had me. Most guys, as they get a little older, will start crying more. I don't have a lot of emotion in me, but I thought that was pretty dang cool. The way he talked about Courtney, and he kind of broke down, and it's just like a lot of these coaches are mercenaries and they'll go anywhere for a buck and all that, but they do have friendships and they do have relationships. And that Ryan Odom press conference last night really was pretty neat to see his affection and love for one of his former coaching mates.
Odom was at VCU and Utah State before.
Okay, so he came from where to go before Virginia? Was he at Utah State?
He was under Tony Bennett before he went to VCU and then back.
He was with Tony Bennett at Virginia.
Yeah.
And then they brought him back. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
That guy, I think that guy can coach. Now, again, I don't know if it's about coaching anymore. It's literally about what's your budget. But Virginia is a great basketball school, and they had fallen on hard times, and this guy's bringing them back.
Yeah.
All right, what else do you have, sir?
Speaking of college basketball, how far do you think Iowa State falls after the demoralizing loss to Kansas? And does Kansas jump into the top 25 now?
You know, I want to chalk this one up. And by the way, the thing that's scary about Iowa State, they looked horrible against Baylor in the first half of that game. And then they go on the road, and they just get
It was the horrible first half in this game, too.
Yes. I did see that they got it to 11 in the second half, kind of like Oklahoma State did.
Yep.
Oklahoma State got it to 10 last night, as close as they got. But, okay, so okay. Yeah, I trust Coach Otts, and I think they'll be okay. I think Iowa State has the problem it always has. I think they have a scoring problem. And it's weird because Momcilovic is a great shooter. Jefferson can get his own. He's a big, powerful dude. But I don't think they have enough scorers. They have lots of role players like Toure. I like that guy. He's a good role player, but he's not a scorer. And
They don't have a Peterson.
Now they got experience. They got a great coach, and I think they'll figure it out. But I think they'll fall, just based on that loss, they're going to fall about 4 or 5 spots. Because TCU should have beaten Kansas at that place, and they just had a meltdown that prevented it from happening. And I don't think Kansas is that great. Although Darren Peterson played well, but he's a walking injury. And he could get – now, he's not like Anthony Davis level yet, okay, but he's a guy to watch in the injury department. But you ask a good – now, the other part of that, Kev, is like, how good is Kansas? And the answer is I don't know. I think this is a lot like Baylor and Kansas used to be. I think these are teams Kansas used to be – unbeatable at home and very beatable on the road. I think maybe they're getting back to being like that. I think maybe Kansas has enough talent to get the crowd behind them and to get really tough again at home, but be extremely beatable on the road. Baylor right now is just happy. I know you didn't ask me about Baylor, but just because I know we have a lot of Baylor people who watch it. Baylor is just happy to get a win. We're not going to read anything more into it than that.
Just happy to be here.
I did hate them saying, Coach Lutz told us how desperate Baylor's such a desperate team. Now let me say this. That may be true. But Coach Lutz, you got what was coming to you. You don't talk about a national championship coach in a program and start going around talking about how desperate Baylor is. You worry about your own team that has been in the ditch for several years. Now, I think he's a good coach, and I like that guy, and I like parts of that team. But leave that stuff alone. But Baylor's going to be a desperate team. That's not your concern. Your concern should be getting your team ready. So, Coach Lutz, that was Coach Drew saying, I am still Coach Drew, and you are still Steve Lutz. All right? Let's remember that. Something about that bugged me, about Lutz telling those broadcasters that. And by the way, I didn't know who those people were on CBS Sports Network, but I thought they were fine. I thought they did a nice job. Again, it's just kind of people that had CBS jackets on. And they just, to me, they were very professional. They didn't wow me, but they didn't frustrate me. And I think Baylor people get extremely frustrated with broadcasters, especially when it's not going Baylor's way. And those guys did just fine.
All right, last one here before we can take a break. You can't knock a team for winning, right? But how many times can UConn escape the jaws of defeat and come up with victory? They were up 15 with just over 11 left, and they had to hold off Seton Hall in the push at the end. They were one shot block away from another potential overtime game.
Look up what their conference record is now. Are they 7-0?
They are number 3 in the country.
Look up their conference record for me while I talk about this, please. It's my favorite thing to do, Kevin, is just kind of like, have you Google things.
Yeah.
I Google me. I think that UConn is. I saw the one the other night where Providence, I think it was, had them on the ropes and let them escape. That was last weekend or something. I just happened to kind of turn it over there.
That was during the Baylor game, right?
In fact,
UConn is 7-0 in conference play right now. Of course, Seton Hall is maybe the best competition they've had thus far. But then there was the Providence game. Yeah.
No, Providence, Seton Hall, they've had a few that are kind of scary, and they're finding a way. And part of that is Caravan's been around for a long time. I think Danny likes this team. I think this team, they had some weird parts last year. And I love the McNeely kid. In fact, I know his family. But, you're asking a lot of a freshman, and they almost kind of needed him to be their clutch guy, and he wasn't quite ready for that. He was a good player, but he just wasn't quite ready for that. And this year, they seem to have like 3 or 4 dudes who are willing to take the big shot down the stretch. It's just more spread out, I would say, this UConn team. And the reason I asked you to look up their conference record, Kev, is because I heard this. This the best start they've had in conference since, and you might go, Matt's going to say the first, Danny's first, national title.
No.
You got to go all the way back to the year of UConn's first men's national title, to Calhoun's first one.
Wow.
Like 99, 2000, whatever year that was back then. And then they got another one like 09 or 10 or whatever with Kevin somebody, Kevin Ollie. But Calhoun won 2. Calhoun get 2, and then Ollie got a 3rd, and then Danny's gotten 2 more. I guess you have to say UConn's the team of the century so far, right?
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the UConn women are the team of the last century and this century.
Calhoun won in 99, 04, and 2011.
No. Ollie was coaching that team in 2011. That wasn't
Kemba Walker?
No, Kemba Walker played.
That was the Kemba Walker year.
No, Kemba Walker's too old for that. Kemba Walker was not on the 2011 UConn team, so you're getting some bad information there. Just trust me. Ollie was coaching the
Kemba Walker on the 2010-2011 men's UConn team, according to the UConn Huskies website.
No, we got. Okay, we'll talk about this. I'll find it in the break. But Ollie won a national title at UConn, and it was in the that happened in okay, hold on. I don't want to get mad at me. Sometime around, when did they win another? They won one with the Ollie.
I'm gonna look it up.
What year was that?
Let me look it up.
15? So just know I'm not crazy.
Kevin Ollie.
All right. We can do this. We can do this on our own. Something is amiss here. I will clean.
2014.
Okay.
Yep.
Are you telling me that Calhoun won a national title in 2011?
Yes, exactly.
He won 3?
Yes.
Ollie won another one? Oh,
yep.
My gosh.
And now Hurley has won 1, right? 2? Did they win back-to-back?
Kimbo was older than that. All right. Good stuff. All right, I stand corrected. I appreciate it. The stat man. Okay, Kev, let's. That's good. That was good. Campus Confidential. I want to discuss the best openings in the NFL, and I want to look at these. I want to look at these openings because they're about to start one by one. It'll start, and once there's one, there'll be 2 or 3 that happen within like 24 hours. But as they start to get filled, I want to go through the quarterback situations, and I want to talk about the best one, and I also want to bring you up to date on what the Cowboys are doing with their defensive coordinator search. That is next.
Ready for a better kind of primary care?
At Patient First Direct Primary Care, you get unlimited office visits with same-day or next-day availability.
And instead of rushed appointments, we take the time to actually listen.
There are no insurance hassles, just clear, simple care.
You can reach us by phone or text because access shouldn't be complicated. Our practice has expanded to include Medicare-age patients as part of our direct primary care model.
It's a fresh alternative to the traditional insurance or government-driven systems, care that finally puts you first.
For more information, go to patientfirstdirect.com.
When you strive for greatness, you have a target on your back. When it comes to finances, we're all targets for scammers. But with the right game plan, you can protect yourself. Don't get faked by fraud.
Here's a tip. Don't buy from social media ads unless the ad is from a verified company. When you click those ads, you open yourself up to fraud. If it seems too good to be true, it almost always is.
This message is brought to you by Central National Bank.
With Ease US, make studio quality voiceovers for your videos online in over 149 languages and dialects. Never been easier to create professional grade videos and voiceovers. Try it today at easeus.com. That's EASEUS.com. Ease US.
Tervis is all about staying hydrated. Each product is built to last and comes in endless designs to match your personality. Stay refreshed and express yourself with Tervis. Visit tervis.com today and find your perfect tumbler.
Dive into adventure with scuba.com, your ultimate destination for top-tier scuba and snorkeling gear. Whether you're a beginner or a pro, trust scuba.com for the best in diving equipment and expert guidance. Explore now at scuba.com. That's SCUBA.com. Scuba.com. Samsonite is the world leader in durable, high-quality luggage and travel accessories. Travel with Samsonite and pack confidence every step of the way. Shop now at shop.samsonite.com. Samsonite.
So all you have to do is tap your Popple to the back of someone's phone, like that, and they instantly get your social media and contact info right on the screen. They don't need an app or a Popple to receive your info. So get your Popple today and start impressing everyone you meet. Make it pop.
Golf Partner, the world's largest golf store network, offers more purchasing opportunities than anywhere else. With a dominant market share and a wider selection of quality secondhand golf clubs than our competitors, we make it easy for you to enjoy the game with affordable, top-quality equipment. Golf Partner, overwhelmed by your inbox? Clean Email is here to help. Organize, clean, and manage your emails with powerful automation tools. Say goodbye to spam and clutter and enjoy a stress-free inbox. Try Clean Email today at cleanemail.com.
Designed to elevate the off-road experience, enabling adventurers to conquer any terrain. For 50 years, you've trusted us on your toughest recoveries, to your most breathtaking destinations, and in countless unforgettable memories.
All right, there we were. Kev, you tried to sneak me in there during the commercial break. I mean, this is a new thing.
You always got to watch.
A glimpse of Mosley when he least expects it. Not that I would be doing anything strange other than looking up some stats. I had Kevin Ollie's and our old Calhoun's. I had them mixed up, and so UConn did win one. 11 with Kimba. Kimba's 35 years old now, believe it or not. His NBA career ended in 2024. And then Ollie did win one in 2014, and then they turn around and win two more. They went back to back with Danny, and unbelievable run there. All right, Kev, let's look. I want to look at some of these, and before we do this, I did want to tell everybody, Christian Parker is the name of who the Cowboys are looking at as a potential candidate for defensive coordinator. They're gonna talk to him. They've requested permission to visit with him. Passing game coordinator for the Eagles. There's not much the Eagles could do to block this because it would be if he's got years left on his contract, I suppose. I don't know. They addressed this at some point because. I remember there used to be a loophole where even if you were trying to get someone to be a coordinator who had been like an offensive line coach, that you could block it because Parcells blocked Tony Sperano years ago. I remember when it happened when Sean Payton was trying to make Sperano his offensive coordinator. This will be interesting to see. This is a Vic Fangio disciple. And this would be the Cowboys saying, we are tired of Vic Fangio. Now, Cowboys have beaten the Eagles plenty. Let's don't act like they have. They beat them once this past season. So during that 3-game streak the Cowboys had, one of those wins was against the Eagles. So let's not act like, the Eagles have locked the Cowboys up for years. Yes, the Eagles actually win Super Bowls. But this is a strange deal. Although somebody coming from the Eagles, although the Commanders hired the Cowboys defensive coordinator as their head coach, so stranger things have happened. We'll look at that. The Fangio thing makes sense because what the Cowboys are doing right now is to go, okay, who has wrecked our offense over the years? And Fangio did it when he was at Denver. Brian Flores did it to them when they played the Vikings. Okay, let's talk to some people who've had success against us. Now, when it comes to success against the Cowboys defense, that's everybody. But Cowboys actually have a decent offense, so there's that. All right, let's start working through this. The Titans have an opening. The Titans, Tennessee Titans, have fired Brian Callahan. What is that? What is that, Kev? I feel like that's something from like a romance novel or something.
It's a Titan. I don't want us to get in trouble with anyone for any of our. So you will see the NFL teams represented like this.
Okay, you are so protective, but I promise you, I think you could put a logo up there of the team on YouTube without having to. Oh my goodness. Okay. All right. So Kevin has selected. This is strange, but we'll work with it. Remember the Titans. Good movie. Great movie. I don't know about that, but good movie, fun movie, true story. I love a true story and love a good sports movie. And I think there was some good sports crying in there. Some good stuff. Callahan was, fired after a 1-5 start. Not good on offense. And he's 4-19 record overall. This team now has to watch Vrabel continue to show out for the Patriots. This franchise is embarrassed. All right. And their old, the late Bud Adams, he's no longer around to for everybody to kick, but his daughter is, and she is running that show and that family. And that's one of the reasons sometimes, and maybe she'll do a fine job, but Steve.
So we're talking about the original team from Houston here, right?
All right.
Yeah.
We're not going back to that. I'm not going to be interrupted to get drawn back into that discussion. But what is her name? Amy Strunk or something? Or is that somebody else? Anyway, I would say of all the openings, I would rank this toward. I wouldn't rank it dead last. I think I would have it probably 7th on the list. You've got a very interesting young quarterback who you certainly would not want to give up on, since you gave the first overall pick for this great player that came from Miami and by way of Washington State and Incarnate Word before that. But I do not love this coaching job. I am getting a kick out of some people they've interviewed for it. I mean, they're like everybody else. Everybody wants John Harbaugh right now. They'll also want Tomlin. Tomlin's indicating that he's wanting to step away for at least a season. They also had interviewed Jason Garrett for this, the former Cowboys head coach, whose only coaching job after he got fired as the Cowboys head coach was as the offensive coordinator for the New York Giants, and that went horribly. I believe he was on Joe Judge's staff, and it did not go well. So I would have that as pretty far down the list. Now, the Giants, the New York Giants, have selected. They fired Brian Daboll. Okay. This is Kevin. You're having too much fun today. Again, moving forward, it is fine to use a logo, but this is amusing, and that is probably the tallest man ever, according to the Guinness Book of World Records, but I bet it has been broken by like someone in another part of the world. But I would imagine that man is about 8 feet tall, but 7 foot 8 inches or 7 foot 9 inches or something like that. There are people in the NBA now approaching that. Some people think Victor is 6'5". Okay, so the Giants. Brian Daboll fired. They want Harbaugh. I think they have the inside route on him. Mara family wants him badly. Gets him into a new conference. It gets him out of his brother's conference, so they don't have to face each other anymore. I mean, they could in a game, but it's not like they're going to face each other unless it's a Super Bowl. And I would not anywhere close to each other in a division. So I like the fit with Harbaugh. I like Jackson Dart, although the guy refuses to take care of himself. And he's finally starting to slide and get out of bounds. But the kid is going to end his career if he keeps performing like he is. I would say of all the quarterbacks that we saw kind of get their start this season, and I'm Shador, Dylan Gabriel, Jackson Dart. I mean, you name them. You name all the rookies, the guys who performed well, the guys who did not. I mean, this guy's exciting because he can make plays with his legs. If he's smart enough to learn how to start protecting himself, he's got a good enough arm. He makes good enough decisions. I think he's very exciting. I get why this is a very appealing job. So I may end up arguing with myself, but right now I have this as number 2. I have this number 2 on the list. Kev, you write these down so we can come back to this later. I've got that as the number 2 job, and I've got the I got the Titans as the number 7. All right, next, Raheem Morris fired by the Falcons. Falcons have a weird quarterback situation because they got to decide what to do with Cousins. They got the old Washington quarterback. He's hurt. I don't think he's great. I mean, I like him, but I don't think you truly can build around him. And you got a great running back, and you've got some parts. You got I think you have some decent players on defense. I've got this in the mid-range. I've got this as the 5th best job. I got this as the 5th best opening, and that would be the Falcons. Now, Stefanski fired by the Browns. That opens up the Browns. What do the Browns have going for them? Okay, just the Brown. God, Kevin really outdid himself here on our graphics. Yes, the Browns.
I mean, what defines the Browns more than just brown? I mean, really.
Yeah. Although you know why it's named the Browns, right, Kev? All right. I would say that the Browns have the greatest pass rusher in the game. He's only 30 years old. Got pretty good defense. Now, Jim Schwartz could get some looks as a head coach, but they certainly, whoever goes in there, could keep a really good defensive coordinator, or they could choose to bring in their own person. But something about the job Stefanski did makes me kind of like this job. As bad as the quarterback thing is, and now you had a bad enough season where you're picking fairly early. I don't think you're going to get a shot at Mendoza. There'll be other quarterbacks you can think about, and I think Oregon's still waiting to see what Dante's going to do, and we don't know what Trinidad Chambliss, what the ruling will be on him. There will be quarterbacks up there that you could go after. I'm going to put the Browns at 6.
If the Browns draft a quarterback, Cleveland is going to cry into the Great Lakes.
Why wouldn't they? You don't have one. You think Dylan Gabriel or Shedeur Sanders is the answer?
But they've wasted so much money and draft capital on quarterbacks. You have to stop with the quarterback thing and fix anything else. I don't know. It can't all fall to the quarterback.
Well, they can go sign one. Now, the better way would be to try to get Cousins or somebody like that in there. You can keep doing that every year. You can try to do that. I mean, Browns brought in Flacco, and then Flacco ends the season with the Bengals. But
you could do that because Cousins would still get paid from the Falcons, and you could get him cheap. You're already spending way too much money on Deshaun Watson, and who knows if he's going to play or not.
Yeah, that's a fair point. I don't know. You don't know what's going to happen with Watson, and they have to figure out how to. It's like we're playing a game or something. Name the host. All right. I'm going to put them at 6. I'm going to put them as number 6. Kevin, when we finish this, you can repeat where all these people ended up. Okay. Gannon. Oh, okay. Sorry. Carroll gets fired with the Raiders. Brady's kind of Tom Brady's making this hire. And he's wanting to bring in a like he's already talking about Bball as his offensive coordinator. Now, this is not a good move because you really need to get the head coach and then let the head coach help you put the rest of the staff together. But, this is going to have to be someone Tom Brady is very comfortable with. And this, again, is where Flores' name comes up. Raiders didn't have a quarterback this year. Help is not really on the way. Kev, off the top of your head, what is their quarterback? What is their quarterback situation right now? Gino is their quarterback this year. I bet he's got at least another year on his contract. It's a bad quarterback situation.
Aiden,
don't have anybody behind Gino.
Aiden O'Connell, he was hurt.
That doesn't interest anybody. So you've got to draft a quarterback. All right, and that's where you got to decide. Anyway, that's what you got to decide on. So all right, we'll figure this out. We'll figure this one out. But I've got the Raiders right now. I want to give them better because of Brady, but I've got them at number 8. I've got them in last place. All right. Cardinals fired Gannon. I don't know why I'm a little bit enamored. I did not mind what Gannon and his defensive staff did this year. As bad as they were, there were some metrics that suggested they were okay. They didn't have their quarterback, and they didn't want to play Kyler really even when he got healthy, and they didn't. There's a lot to this one. I kind of like the card. I mean, obviously you're not going to win with Jacoby Brissett as your starter. You got to decide what you're going to do at quarterback. They lost a ton of games, but you got to decide what you're going to do with Kyler. I don't hate this job, so I'm going to put this job number 3. All right, Kev, unless I've already chosen a 3. Got that job at 3. All right, Harbaugh gets fired by the Ravens, gets blown out of there. Ravens job, kind of love it. It's Lamar, it's Bisciotti, it's DaCosta, known him forever. The GM there, know him, love him, and that's number 1. That's it. That's number 1. Ravens job is the best. That's the way I'm leaning on that. I got Dolphins job opens. You got weird stuff with Tua. You got a coach that they kind of didn't like. Moving on. Flores has already tried it there. He ended up suing the league. McDaniel kind of kept them into it and finished the season okay. The problem was nobody had respect for the head coach. I mean, he called an okay game. I liked what they did with Ewers down the stretch. You don't have a great quarterback situation there. You do have some good pieces. You got some good defensive players, and you got like crazy talent at wide receiver. You do. You got amazing talent at wide receiver, and you're okay at running back. I've got Dolphins at number 6. Kevin, unless I've already used that. Let me. Okay.
6 is you put it the Browns. So what you have available is spot number 4 or spot number 9 because we still got to get to the Steelers.
Yeah, but I didn't. Did I say number 2?
Giants at 2.
Okay, put them at. You said no. Wait, I'm gonna put them at. Who did I put at 8?
8 is the Raiders.
Okay, we'll put them down. And what do I have left right now? 4.
You got 4 and 9.
Put them at.
Unless you want to move somebody.
Put them at 9. Put them at 9, just for the sake. Just get this done. Yeah.
Put the Dolphins at 9.
Yeah, I may have to move it around a little bit. That's just
all right.
Did this in a crazy way. But okay, that leaves for the Steelers spot number 4. Let's see what Kev's done there. Yeah, it's like a steel. It's like a factory or something. Is that a steel factory? Okay, I like that. I think that Tomlin, did an incredible. I really do. I know they were ready for him to go. I think he coached his rear off even this year. I think he's always kept there. And there's some coaches, Schottenheimer at Dallas this year, Gannon at Arizona. A lot of these fired coaches they just can't keep the floor of where they are high enough. And what Tomlin was great at doing was like keeping the floor like high. And even with all this quarterback issues and drafting the kid out of Pittsburgh with small hands, and then having Mason Rudolph, and then trying this guy, trying that guy, and running everybody through there after Roethlisberger, he kept them competitive. Now, you got to do it without him. It would be hilarious if they could convince Harbaugh to come in there. The more likely scenario is Mike McCarthy begging for this job right now. He's a Pittsburgh guy. He loves everything about it. He wants to be back in that town. It's his hometown. It's the great story. It's the hometown kid coming back. It's what he wants. It's where he wants to retire. All of the great fun things, and it gives them a offensive coach because, I mean, it's been so long since Tomlin was a defensive coordinator. You forget what he even did. I'll remind you. He was with Tampa Bay and came up under Dungy. And the Steelers shocked everybody and hired this young 30-something-year-old coach. And the guy did a heck of a job. And he teamed up with Roethlisberger. And in the first 4 or 5 years, he was unreal. He was unreal there. Last 9 years, hadn't won a playoff game. I get it. You want to make a change. What Pittsburgh people desperately want is to finally have an offensive-minded head coach. And so I think that's the direction it'll go. So we'll put them number 4. And that is the list. That is the list of the best NFL coaching jobs. I thought I only said 8, so I don't know how he came up with 9. But anyway, I think I've got the Dolphins way too low just because I ran out of spots. But I would switch. I would move the Dolphins somewhere up around maybe where I put the Browns. And I think I would move the Browns down. So I think I would switch those two. Yeah, I think that's about where it sits. Now, I think what we'll do moving forward is we'll talk about these head coaches and we'll rank them in the order of where they go. Now, there'll be teams that end up and you're like, what? Huh? I don't even remember hearing his name. Because believe it or not.
Do you want your rankings as they sit right now?
Yes.
All right. I'm going to go worst to first. We got Browns at 9, Raiders at 8, Titans at 7, Dolphins at 6, Falcons at 5, Steelers at 4, Cardinals 3, Giants 2, number 1, Ravens.
Okay. The biggest argument I think, Kevin, you would have with me or any of our people, and you can always, by the way, if you're on Twitter with us, feel free to comment, and then we'll even put some of your comments up. But you can get into the YouTube comments. If you follow us on Twitter, you can tweet at me at Matt Mosley, MattMosley. But go ahead and go subscribe to YouTube, and we just keep seeing the numbers growing in the right direction, and so real excited about that. So yeah, I think.
Are you ready?
I think if I'm gonna criticize myself, I would say the Cardinals are too high right now. So probably we need to get the Cardinals moved down. Okay, what does the fake Portnoy think? Kevin, what do you think of the list? Who's too high? Who's too low?
All right, so I made my own list, and so here's my thought. In general, I think that this is really just like, really, what's your flavor? What do you want out of this? Because you could get the MVP, the former MVP, 2-time, but can't quite get it done quarterback, or you could be at the top of the draft and pick your guy, right? And everything in between. So here is my rankings from worst to first. I also have the Browns. They're an absolute mess. Cardinals, I have at 8, thinking Trey McBride is really your best player, and if your tight end is your best player, that's not great. Of course, the Raiders aren't far off because they have a tight end and a running back as their best player, so I got them at 7. The benefit is draft your guy, right? But what's he going to do if he has nobody to throw to on the outside and no line to block for him? And then I've got the Titans. I think the Titans is fix the O-line, and you could be really successful there. But you probably want more of an offensive guy, somebody who can shape and mold Cam Ward into what you want him to be. Steelers have a really good team, but who is the quarterback? We're not sure, right? The good thing is, if you take that job, you're going to be around for a little bit. They're not just going to give up on you like some other places may, Yeah. The Giants I have at 4. I think if you teach Dart to get down, I think you're good. You got 2 great receivers. You got a really staunch defense if you can get everything together. And you have a running game, a multi-headed running game. So I think the Giants are very attractive if you can deal with the New York media, and that's a whole nother thing. The Dolphins, go ahead.
I can speak to that for a second. Completely overrated deal on that front. Like they have this reputation of beating everybody up and all that kind of stuff. I know all those guys. And I'm not saying at times that hasn't been true, but and again, I don't want to get bogged down in this discussion.
Yeah.
I'm saying I hear what you're saying. There has been truth to that in the past. That's a bit of an overrated deal. Now,
so are you saying that also the Philly fans are not the worst fan base?
Well, see that fans and media are two different things.
Okay, all right.
Different things. And so while the Eagles fans are completely, the truth is, all fan bases are sort of unreasonable and emotional and all of that, but there are different levels. The Eagles have a horrible reputation, and fans, and a little bit of that is wrong, but a lot of it is right. And unfortunately, they remind us too many times. And one of them, by the way, just came up. They were some driving range in Eagles land in Philly. Indoor golf has become a big deal, especially in cold weather places. And they had a big thing before Patullo was fired. that you could come and hit driver and drive balls at Patullo's face. Now, that's a very Philly thing. That's a very Philly thing. And it's a very...
All I know is...
By the way, we can continue this. Do we need to get one more break in, or are we good?
We'll do the last one at the end. We'll be good to go.
All right.
All I know is we pick the Niners on our podcast. We do our picks for the playoffs, and you would have thought that I killed somebody's baby. The comments that we were getting on some of our stuff from Eagles fans. Now, they ended up having to eat some crow on that, but that's all right. You ready for my top 3 coaching jobs available?
Yeah, let's go.
Dolphins is number 3. I think they have really good pieces. The biggest questions, of course, are quarterback, but then also you do have another question because Tyreek Hill was rejoicing when he left the field. He was finally finished. I think he's finished with the Dolphins. At number 2, I have the Ravens and Lamar because, yes, they have the pieces, but they haven't been able to get it done. And we don't know if that's because they just don't have it or if they don't have the coach. It's unsure. Obviously, this seems very attractive, but I'm not sold as the number 1. My number 1 is the Falcons. I think that they are the best all-around team. I know the question's a quarterback, but the question of whether to go with a proven vet like Kirk Cousins or a really talented up-and-comer like Michael Penix, those are not bad questions to have. Look at what the Falcons were able to do and some of the teams that they beat this year. They went on a 4-game winning streak at the end, including the Rams. We talked about them on our podcast about being bipolar all season, but they ended in a really good place, and to me, that would be the most attractive job on the market.
Okay, so you're going number 1. Remind me where you put Baltimore.
I got Ravens 2, so it's right there.
Okay, that's an interesting, and I love that you picked the Falcons. I'll just say it like this: ownership Ravens, GM, and they still have Ozzie there to kind of help Eric DaCosta. The alignment, the defense, people like Kyle Hamilton on that defense, the defensive tackles. I mean, the way they've built that team, they certainly need to fix a little bit of the O-line. But from a pieces standpoint, a structure standpoint, I just think there's a lot more of a winning culture than what they have in Atlanta. It's amazing, though, isn't it, Kev, that, like, you know, you could be seeing what you just were talking about. You passed up the opportunity to hire Bill Belichick, and you hired a retread in Raheem Morris, and then suddenly they're winning at the end of the season, and they're kind of making progress, and you go, no, we don't like this. We don't like this. As a coach, I would just be like, ooh. I mean, these people, you know, like there's when you look at the Steelers and you look at the Ravens, you look at ownership groups who are like, we're going to do this, and we know there'll be some issues along the way, but we are going to stay the course. Or, by the way, the Eagles are another organization. They do it a different way. They stay the course with their personnel and who's their GM. And if they get off course from head coach, they make a change, and then they go back to winning a Super Bowl. They got one with Peterson, and then they got the 2 Super Bowls with Jalen Hurts and Sirianni, and then they make changes, right? They just change their offense coordinator. So they just do it in different ways, all right? The Eagles are kind of zigzagging through there, but the Ravens and the Eagles do it way better than Jerry, who, again, he's the only person other than the Bengals. The Bengals have the weird thing with Mike Brown, but the Bengals and the Cowboys are the only teams that have zero fear of something ever happening to the GM. And the guy who actually runs everything for the Bengals is a guy last name of Tobin. Is it Duke Tobin? Vince Tobin? Anyway, Tobin is his name. and he basically runs everything. So the Cowboys are truly the only team that do it. And we've always asked the question, it's a funny question to ask Jerry, like, if this is such a great way to do things, to have the owner and general manager be the same person, and Jerry thinks it is, why does nobody else do it that way? Why does no other owner? There are other owners that think they're football people that love being in charge and like making decisions and are billionaires like Jerry. Why does nobody else ever try this? Well, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Even Al Davis had like a GM. He might trump them. He might go, hey, I like this fast receiver. Let's take this kid out of Maryland because he's got great straight line speed. All right. But even Al Davis, I mean, there were GMs, there were people making decisions under Al Davis, believe it or not. Oh, we've come to the end of the show. Good stuff from Kev. Good to have Brandon on with us today, hanging out with us a little bit. He's new to the program. Last thoughts, by the way, the Landing. Thank you, Brazos Landing. Oh my goodness, you guys are incredible, and look forward to getting out there doing a live show soon. And we're going to be out there. We'll do one. We'll do one very soon. I cannot wait to get on the ground and get Kevin out there, get some of those appetizers in his system, and just get right there on the grounds at the Brazos Landing. How fun would that be? We got a lot going on. We got the Baylor's athletic director is going to be joining me. We'll do that. We're going to have a long, interesting discussion with Baylor's brand new AD, Doug McNamee. That's happening Friday. I just reached out. I'll see real quick. We may have Coach Colin on tomorrow, Baylor women's basketball. I'll keep you posted. But we've got just a lot of fun stuff coming up on the Mosley Show. Thank you, Brazos Landing. Thank you, Lindsay family. Love that the Bang Bang Shrimp. Even just basic, like the BLT. They take the BLT to like a huge new level. It's an unbelievable level. These are my favorite shows, Kevin. We've had great guests on, and we try to get you. We try to get a guest almost daily, but the truth is, some days I just want to hang out and visit with our folks. And if I ever find a way that our YouTube audience can just come on with us, I'll do it. We'll figure it out, and we'll get them on, because I love that too. But great to have you guys with us. It is the Mosley Show. Thank you, Ascension, and thank you, Central National Bank, our presenting sponsor. Our great team of sponsors here on the Mosley Show. We continue right on down the road. We'll do it tomorrow at 1:00 straight up. Good night.
When Central National Bank decided to partner with Baylor women's basketball, we were hoping Coach Colin would bring that championship mindset to do whatever she has to do to take our workplace culture to the next level.
Well, these donuts are pretty good.
Guys, how we doing?
We're good, Coach.
Craig! What are you doing?
What do you mean?
You have to dunk it.
So far, I think our employees are really enjoying it.
Not everything's a basketball thing.
Did you say something, Craig?
No, ma'am.
That's what I thought.
Dude, I think she likes you.
Central National Bank, proud partner of Baylor Athletics and Baylor Women's Basketball.
Bubble wasn't here. I don't know what people would be doing, like making PowerPoints or something. I love that I can sit down and build something the way that I think it should be built.
Bubble turns ideas into fully scalable apps. Try Bubble today.
At Covers & All, we've revolutionized protective solutions with cutting-edge, customizable covers, tarps, and curtains. We deliver premier protection at affordable prices and express shipping. Visit coversandall.com today for the perfect fit, guaranteed to last.
Better sleep, inspired by nature. Your back, hips, and shoulders will fall into perfect alignment in any position, meaning that you get deeper, more comfortable rest. Visit ecoterrabeds.com.
Cleanse your body of accumulated toxins and embark on your wellness journey at your own pace. At Global Healing, we provide premium supplements to help your body heal naturally. Start your healing journey today at globalhealing.com and organichemp.com.
Relax with Hemp Delicious. Organically grown hemp, massively blended with delicious organic herbs, responsibly sourced for their holistic benefits. Each sip offers calming, antioxidant-rich wellness. Brewed just for you. Sip the calm with Hemp Delicious.
Is your Mac running slow? Mac Booster 8 is your all-in-one solution to clean up 20 types of junk files. Get your Mac running like new again with Mac Booster 8. Visit macboost.net today.
I know you're gonna love this Kodak Dot Plus printer. You guys just connect it to your smartphone. I can assure you, you are going to love this printer as much as my family has. You guys have to check it out for yourself.
At Mapiful, we believe in celebrating your journey. Our unique personalized products are designed to boost your confidence. From custom home decor to meaningful gifts, we help you cherish the memories that make you who you are. Visit mapiful.com and start celebrating your story today.